and I'm going to share my screen. So, okay guys, so can you see this? Perfect. Okay, so this is my story of hope and love. And where I got the word hope and love is Jeff Hill at NLC. He gave the most amazing closing speech ever that just had me crying, just had me just my mouth open because he's such an amazing speaker. But he had us write down one word of what we thought of when we thought of Beachbody. And I had to write two, so I just did a little symbol of a heart for love, but mine was hope. All right, you guys, you gave me hope to get my life back. So you guys, this was me. So I've been in the fitness industry for about 17 years, and this was me. I lived in the gym. I developed the most horrible eating disorder because I was a total binge eater. When I trained for fitness photo shoots or anything like that, you would deplete your body of so much stuff, and I would eat either 0 cookies or 100 cookies. There was no balance. There was no moderation. You guys, I was miserable. I was depressed. I was unhappy. Food and exercise controlled my every thought. All I thought about was when I can go work out. All I thought about was when I ate anything is how much I'm going to have to how much time I'm going to have to spend in the gym to work it all off. I literally probably spent 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours a day in the gym. I would do doubles sometimes every day of the week. I don't want people to think I was a crazy person, so I had different passes to different gyms. Guys, it was the most horrible, miserable life ever. And I keep these pictures for a long time. I deleted them all because I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever see these because I don't want anyone to ever try to look like me, because girls would see these and they'd be like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Like, look at your six pack, look at your back, look at, wow, can you help me look like that? And for a long time, I did. I helped people look like this. And then, you guys, I went through my divorce. See, my ex-husband was big time into fitness and all that kind of stuff too, but he was very extreme this way. And so before I met him, it was all about fun. I taught at all the universities here, at BYU, UVS, UVU, at all the Gold's Gym locations. I'd probably be in front of 400 or 500 people a week because my classes were huge, especially at the colleges. The universities, they drove me in this big, huge stage. It was almost like a Super Saturday every single day. They drove me in this big, huge stage, and I'd be up there just teaching, 300 people plus. That's where I met my ex-husband, my second ex-husband. So you guys, I went through my second divorce and I just ate my feelings. And you guys, this isn't even me at my heaviest. My roommate, she knew me before I got married, and she knew how important health was to me and how important fitness was to me. But it's almost like I hated the gym. I hated eating healthy. I probably didn't eat a vegetable or a piece of fruit for probably 2 or 3 months. I ate out fast food. I ate during my lunch break when I worked at Beachbody. I'd go to Neater's, which is a bakery, and I'd get a chocolate chip cookie, a mint brownie, a slice of carrot cake, a tart, and sometimes bread pudding. Because that's what I was eating. Oh my heavens, I felt disgusting. I felt gross. I felt sick. I had no energy. And because I had that injury, remember I had that injury where I had pain from my neck clear down to my ankle? I couldn't do anything besides walk and kind of stretch. And because I couldn't work out how I used to or how I wanted to or how I knew I could make myself look a certain way, I was like, I'm not working out at all. So I'd drive to work, you guys. I'd come sit at my desk. I'd drive to the bakery at lunch, come back, sit at my desk. Then I'd drive home and sit on the couch all night long. Oh my heavens. Talk about sad, miserable, and depressed. This was me August 30th, 2016. You guys, I hated my job. I hated coming to work. I would call my mom and cry every day saying, Mom, I used to be them. My coaches, they're happy and they're positive and they're full of life and they're full of love, and they've all been through these really hard things, but they got through them. And I hated my job, you guys, because you're all you talked about these horrible trials you've been through, but you talked about how you got through them. And I'm like, oh, because I hated my life. I'm not kidding you. I became a hermit, and that's just not me. I'm all about life. And seriously, I have never snoozed one time in my life until this last year. And I would snooze and I give myself 15 minutes to get ready for work. 15 minutes! Every single morning, I'd set my alarm, and then I'd be like, no, because every single night I was motivated again. Tomorrow's going to be the day. Tomorrow's going to be the day. Because I hated myself. I hated the person who stared back at me. August 30th, 2016, I tipped the scales at 170. You guys, and I have never been that heavy in my life. And that's not even that heavy. Like, I still look like a normal person. Like, I wouldn't call myself obese. I was definitely overweight, but I wouldn't call myself like obese or anything. But you guys, on the inside, I was so unhealthy. I would get winded walking upstairs. And you guys, I was so sad. I was so miserable. I was so depressed. I was in counseling. I hadn't started working on personal development yet because I didn't need that. I was in counseling, and my counselor's like, Lacey, she's just like, you need to change this. You need to change this. And you guys, for months, I would just cry and cry and cry at my counselors. I would go there during lunch too. And literally there would be the biggest, hugest box of tissues ever. And there would just be, I was using them all. I was crying. And you guys, September 17th, that was my birthday. I was dreading my birthday. I'm like, I'm going to be 35. I've been married and divorced twice. Like, I'm going to be an old grandma mom, and I want a big family, and I'm on a really, really late start on this. And oh my heavens. And I just like, pour me. Well, then Country Heat came out. And all the girls at the office, they're like, come on, let's get in a challenge group. And I was like, no, I don't want to, because Country Heat, you can't get results with that. Like, no, you can't. It's dumb. Like, what the heck? Country Heat is like, it's not even a workout. But you guys, I started doing it with the girls in the office because they all made me. And we had to do, like, Carl did a challenge for the employees too. Like, he does a challenge for you guys. He doesn't a challenge for the employees. So we had to take pictures and all that kind of stuff. Oh, you guys, I hated those pictures. I hated them so bad, but we had to do it because there was money involved and I wanted to win some money. It was the health bet. It was the first time they ever did the health bet. Carl did it for the employees at corporate too. So you guys, I just started like moving with Country Heat. I started moving and I was like, oh my heavens, this doesn't hurt. And then like started doing size and I was like, oh my heavens, like this is getting better. This is getting better. Meanwhile, I'm still doing personal development. Oh, so not meanwhile. Arnold Akaha, he made Sydney read The Miracle Morning. And Arnold's not my very boss. He's not my very boss. But he made Sydney read it. And Sydney's one of my really good friends. And she's like, Lacey, this book changed my life. So you guys, I started reading The Miracle Morning. And I started putting it into action. Totally putting it into action. You guys, I started like working with my counselor. I no longer cried, poor me. I'd go there and I was working through everything. And you guys, I just kept reading all your stories and hearing from you and just reading different things. You guys, you gave me hope that I could get through this because I was not prepared for the depression I went in. I was like, depression is in people's heads. Like, oh my gosh, like just eat healthy, exercise, and think happy thoughts. Like depression isn't real. Holy smokes. Talk about like the biggest nosedive ever. You guys, it was so weird. There's a difference between sadness and depression. And now I know that. Now I totally know that. And before that, I did not believe it. But you guys, I started working with the counselor, started working through all my things. Because I couldn't even make myself for the first time in my life. I was like, I'd cry and I'd say, I didn't do what you asked me to do. I don't know why I didn't. And I know I'm paying you money every single week, but I won't do what you're asking me to. And I would just be crying because I was so mad. I knew I was wasting their time. I knew I was wasting her time. I knew I was wasting my money. You guys, it was me like waking up every single day, doing my personal development, writing. So the Miracle Morning is this. It's called the Savers. S stands for silence. A stands for affirmation. V stands for visualization. E stands for exercise. R stands for reading. And S stands for scribe or journal writing. Because I started doing that. And I'm an extremist where I'm like, unless I'm going to do something all the way and just perfect, then I won't do it at all. But progress, it's not perfection. Like it's the start that stops most people. So I'm like, all right, Lacey, just get it done. If you only like read for 5 minutes, then read for 5 minutes. So I started making my Miracle Morning. Just the guy in the book, he's like an hour at the very most. He's like, sometimes you can do it in 20 minutes if you're pressed for time. And so you guys, I was like, all right, fine, Lacey, just do it for 20 minutes. Like you can handle anything for 20 minutes, even exercising, you guys. I used to spend 4 hours in the gym and I couldn't get myself to spend 5 minutes. And so it was a lady at church who I started walking with too, because we started waking up at 5:30 in the morning. And I knew if I stood her up, she'd be pissed at me. And she knew if she stood me up, I'd be pissed at her. So she'd pick me up every single morning. We started walking. You guys, fast forward after Country Heat, after size, after working through my problems, after miracle morning every single morning after doing personal development, after sharing my struggles. Because you guys, no one has ever seen me like this. If you came at me with a camera like this, oh my heavens, I wanted to rip your eyes out. And my roommates have these pictures of me because every picture that I had, I would delete, because I was embarrassed. Lacey is like the fitness, like Lacey's the fitness girl. Like she's the one who you go to for meal plans and for exercise. And she is like, she's got freaking ripped abs and like legs, and like she is a fitness queen. And you guys, I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. So it kept me in hiding. It kept me in hiding because as soon as I lost weight, as soon as I got back to me, then I'd come out, you know, and start living life again. And my counselor's like, start living it now. You guys, fast forward. This was last month at NLC, where my little line is hope. And you guys, oh my heavens, Kate, my favorite part of my transformation, like physical part, yes, I lost 30 pounds. Mental part, you guys, I got my self-esteem back. I got my self-confidence back. I got my self-love. That is the most important thing, you guys, is I got my self-love back. But my favorite part ever is the light that came back on in my eyes. I look at pictures of me through that time, and you guys, there is no light. And I talk about that all the time, is when the Beachbody Challenge winners, when you see them on the summit stage, when you see their stories and you see them saying, this is day one, you know, like I just went through a divorce, or my husband had an affair, I just found out, and we're not sure what we're going to do, but I've got to get me back. You guys, their eyes, there's so much sadness and depression in there. Like there's no light. They've lost their self-confidence. They've lost their self-esteem. They've lost their self-love. You guys, when that light came back on, like, oh my heavens. And one of my favorite quotes ever is, having the light in your eyes is the best kept beauty secret. You guys, you can't buy that. You cannot buy that. You cannot buy that light. You have to get it back through having that transformation, getting your self-esteem back, getting your self-love back, getting your self-confidence, your self-respect. You guys, I have suffered from an eating disorder, binge eating disorder. I have never ever in my life thrown up, but I would exercise it off. So like I would binge and eat like crazy because I was trying to fill a void in my life, and then I would exercise it off because I wanted to look a certain way. That was the most vicious cycle of my life. And holy smokes, talk about wow. Like, and you guys, working at Beachbody, it made me realize that, hey, you can get fit in working out a half an hour, 45 minutes a day. You can eat what you want. You guys, I forgot to put this little thing in. I'm gonna show you one picture. I forgot to put this little slide in. Let's see, this little picture. Can you guys see that? No?
No, you have to, I think you have to restart it. It's kind of, yeah, it's like
Okay.
going to the side. I don't know. It has a weird shape. Oh my God, Lacey, I love you even more now.
Okay, guys, let me show you. Okay, I just barely had it up. Shoot, what did I just do? Oh, darn it. Oh, darn, guys. You cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording this meeting. Okay. Shoot. Share screen. Can you guys see that now? You guys, this was me eating treats every single day, but I didn't want to binge eat them anymore because I didn't deprive myself. Like I worked with a counselor at, it's called the Center for Change, where they work specifically with eating disorders. And I had an eating disorder before I married my ex-husband, but he made it a million times worse. Like I had to wait every single day in front of him. And if I wasn't at 128 or less, then holy crap, he ignored me, gave me the silent treatment, like treated me like dirt. So my worth was based on a number on the scale. It totally was. Like my worth was based on a number on the scale. You guys, I have not weighed, I've probably weighed like maybe 3 or 4 times in the last like year. It is the most freeing feeling in the world. And it's so true. When I first threw it out, my scale or whatever, and I started losing weight, you know, like, cause I could see my clothes, I could feel. So I stepped on the scale one time because they have a scale at Beachbody, and I stepped on the scale and it wouldn't work. And I was like, all right, Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you for not letting it work. Like, you're right. Cause it's so easy to get back in that cycle again. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so you guys, seriously, like when I think of Beachbody, I think of the hope that you guys all gave me and the love that you all showed me. I went to lunch with Jeff Hill a couple months ago, and he's like, so Lacey, like, what has Beachbody done for you? And I said, Jeff, Beachbody saved me. And like, it literally saved me. It gave me my life back. It gave me my life back. You guys, I lived in a gym. Now I can't even stand a gym. I feel like I'm in a cage. And I'm like, everyone there is just like, ugh, I don't know. I just don't like it. It's either, I can't even stand to be in a gym. And you guys, I lived in a gym, seriously, for like 15 years. I taught 9 to 15 classes a week. Like, I lived in the gym. Not anymore. Like, I'm living life. I'm going on hikes. Like, I'm just doing all these things that I like would have never done before. And it's so great. You guys, my ex-husband, he wouldn't let me have kids unless I could maintain a certain weight and a certain body fat percentage for like a freaking entire year, which he wanted me to maintain this crazy psycho skinny girl who was like depressed and sad for an entire year until he would even think about having kids with me. You guys, I tried my hardest to do that, but you cannot look like this. You look like this for a photo shoot or for a stupid fitness competition. And not that they're stupid, because if you like them, then that's okay. But just with me and how they were in my life, I'm like, you guys, oh my heavens, I've been given my life back. And now I know, you guys, I can't wait to be a mom. Like, I was terrified. I was only allowed to gain 25 pounds. I had to be back to my pre-pregnancy weight within 9 months. Like, I was so scared. And I'm like, like the thought of having kids with him was like thank the good Lord that I didn't, because I wanted to so bad, but I lost my period for like the whole time we were married because I was so stressed out. I was so low body fat, and I became a crazy mental person. And I'm not blaming it on him, because I honestly think in his like weirdo way, he thought he was helping me. But I'm just like, I'm so excited to have kids now. Like, I'm so excited to just like, I was terrified of food, you guys. I was terrified of like our pantry. Like, my counselor, she said, I want you to write down a list of foods that are safe. Because I'm like, I wouldn't buy any food that was not safe to me because I would overeat it. Because when I moved into my roommates, and when I moved in with my roommates, I would eat all their food. I was that roommate who would eat all their food. And it's because they would buy stuff that I didn't dare buy because I would eat it all, but they'd buy it and I couldn't resist it. I like literally had the pantry memorized. My one roommate, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I ate that whole bag of candy that you had. I ate that whole bag of chips. I ate the whole bag of cookies. And she'd be like, oh, you did? I didn't even know I had it in there. I'm like, I know. It's been in there for like 3 days. And she's like, I feel like you have the pantry memorized. And I was like, I do. It's like, I do. Because I buy food that I love, but I don't overeat it because I'm not depriving myself. My counselor had me read this book. It's called Intuitive Eating. And she said, you guys, she's like, when the deprivation is up really, really high, the guilt is like non-existent. So you're depriving yourself, but you have zero guilt because you're depriving yourself. When the deprivation is down and you're just eating whatever you want, the guilt is so stinking high. And it was that constant teeter-totter for me. You guys, I couldn't have one brownie. I would eat the entire pan. I couldn't have one cookie. I would eat the entire bag. I couldn't have one helping of ice cream. I'd eat the entire carton. Food was just like a drug to me. And just like with drugs, like maybe, I don't know much about drugs, but like for example, say you start out with like marijuana or something like that. And then like you get that buzz off of it or whatever. And then you have to like start mixing it with this thing because you don't get that same effect anymore. And then all of a sudden before you know it, you're doing like the hardcore ones, like the heroin and the crack and all that kind of stuff. You guys, my binge eating disorder got so bad that I literally could have killed myself with food. Because when I used to eat like 5 cookies, that would make me sick. Then it turned out I had to eat 10 to have that same effect. And then it was like 15 or a whole package. And then I had to start adding ice cream to it and like a bag of like M&Ms. Like there was this one time, you guys, when I was at the grocery store. So whenever I went through stressful things and whenever I went through like whatever, I turned to food. You guys, this one time I remember me and my ex-husband had gotten the biggest, hugest fight. Work was insanely stressful. And I went to the grocery store and I bought a package of cookies, a carton of ice cream, a jar of caramel, and a jar of fudge. And I ate the entire thing in the matter of about an hour. Guys, I got the most horrible pain in my chest and my left arm went numb. Those are the signs of a heart attack and a stroke. And you guys, and I looked fit. I looked healthy. I was ripped. I had a six pack. But guess what? I was literally killing my body by working out 3 or 4 hours at the gym, 6 or 7 days a week. You guys, I have my life back because you know what? I can work out for a half an hour and just be just fine. I can have a piece of chocolate or this. It's so awesome. So you guys keep sharing your stories. There are so many women who deal with eating disorders, whether it's binge eating, anorexia, bulimia, whatever. So many women deal with body image issues because you guys, what do we see every single day? Magazines of models where they are all so flippin' photoshopped. It's not even funny. Like this right here, this is not real. Like he put some kind of enhancements to make me look like even like more ripped than I was. Like this is not real. This is me when you deplete yourself of water. You take water pills to deplete yourself and you eat 0 carbs and just, you eat fish for breakfast. Oh my gosh, like seriously? Shoot me. I will never do that again. I keep these because I'm like, look at how ripped I am. Look at my six pack. Look at this. I'm like, I'm the most miserable, sad, depressed, unhappy person ever. Because I teach a lot of young girls about this because you guys, so many of them are like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So you guys keep sharing your story. I want to talk to you about time management. Time management is huge. It's so huge. And I teach my diamonds this, but you guys, it takes a while for it to sink in. So I say, think of it like this, RSVP. R stands for rescuing people from themselves. You guys, we are the most obese, overweight nation ever. And that's because people are so confused about all the gimmicks and gadgets out there. It's like, shake this weight, lose weight, shock your abs with this thing and eat pizza sitting down and get a six pack. Take this pill and eat whatever you want. Give yourself this shot of that H whatever, that shot and eat 500 calories and don't exercise. Like my ex would tell me all the time, just take that shot. And I'm like, that tells you to not exercise. I'm like, it's a quick fix. You will gain it all back and probably more, and you're screwing up your body composition. Like you guys, that picture I showed you with my ripped abs, I was still 140. This picture right here, you guys, I was only 152. I was only 152. And I'm 140. Like I literally only lost 10 pounds when I got my abs back. It was so crazy. It's all about body composition, not about the number on the scale, which took me forever to get that out of my head. But you guys, RSVP. R stands for rescue people from themselves. S stands for set them up for success. I literally wanted to like hug and kiss and squeeze Carl and throw him up in the air and shout hooray when he put the challenge pack, the BOD All Access challenge pack down to 160. You guys, holy smokes, that is the most amazing thing that he could have ever done for us. The most amazing thing he could have ever done. Because he is so all about helping people get results. So you guys, I think before when there was a program on sale, we'd set it up and we'd be like, oh, we try to sell that program, even if it wasn't necessarily the best option for the person. But you guys, now you can set them up for success with whatever program is going to work for them best. Because people are all different. V stands for very new people. All right. You're going to be bringing on new coaches. You're going to have to spend more time with them than say somebody you brought on like last month or like last year or whatever. So those very new people. And P is the performers. It's the people who are actually doing what they're saying they're going to do. You're going to have so many people that talk. I want to be diamond. I want to be 5-star. I want to be elite. I want to be top 200. But their actions do not line up with their goals. Like anyone can say, I want to be 5-star. I want to be diamond. But if they're not doing the actions that are going to get them there, they'll never get there. So you guys, the BAT, the business activity tracker, will be your best friend. Because I know we all have big, huge hearts. We want to work with everybody. We see potential in everybody. But you guys, so many people, if they're not willing to fill out the BAT, then you know what? It's not worth your time to have a conversation with them. Like, yes, when they're brand new, put them through a coach basics, some kind of coach training right here in this very new people, set them up for success. But once they have all the tools, but it's up to them. The business activity tracker will be your best friend because you guys, everyone's going to want to work with you. But if you require that in order to have time with you, then either they're not going to give it back to you so you don't have to worry about it, or else they're going to see where they have zeros all over the place. And you're going to be like, okay, this is why your business isn't growing. This is why your team's not growing. This is why your volume's not growing. This is why your income's not growing. Like you can actually show them. All right. when they do fill it out, when they do it, you guys, you will see consistency is the biggest thing. But people don't want to be consistent on the vital behaviors. That's the secret sauce. We're just like, no, we don't want to hear that answer again, Lacey. Shut up. You guys, it's the same thing. Like I always say with being healthy, with losing weight, the pills, the potions, the motions, the like little chakra things, whatever. It always comes back to eating healthy and moving your body. Eating your healthy and exercising. It always comes back to those things. That answer never changes. Ever, 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 ever. Same thing with being successful with this business. The answer never changes. It's the vital behaviors. Okay, guys, so this right here, this is the Fantastic Four. I say all the time, do the Fantastic Four daily. The Fantastic Four are add 10 people to your network every single day. And that doesn't mean just add on Facebook. That means that you're adding them either on Facebook or on Instagram, or just, hey, say hi to the lady at the grocery store who's checking you out. Say hi to the post office lady. Because the other day I went to the car wash and this new girl came up and she says, you're our favorite customer. They already told me you're going to be my favorite customer. And I was like, huh? And she's like, and then the other guys, the two guys come out and they're like, you're our favorite. You talk to us, you're happy. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, whatever. It's just because I wore that. One time I wore a pink wig to the car wash just because they knew my favorite color is pink, and I wore a pink wig. And they were laughing so hard. Like, you guys just open up your mouth. Open up your mouth. Add 10 people to your network every single day somehow. Connect with 10. Invite 5 to something. Whether it's to a free group, a challenge group, a sneak peek, invite 5 to something. And then you guys follow up with 10. All right? Do these actions daily. And I always tell my coaches, because if they say, Lacey, I want to be top 200 this year, I always say, okay, the power of 3 ain't going to cut it. All right? So if they want to be top 200, the power of 3 ain't going to cut it. So I say, if the actions you're taking aren't meeting your goals, you've got to up your actions. If you have this big, huge, hairy, audacious goal, you've got to have big, huge, hairy, audacious, like little things you're going to do every single day. Guys, so if you aren't meeting your goal, then up your actions. All right. So the power of 3, if the power of 3 is working for you and you're meeting your goals, awesome. If it's not, then do the power of 5. If the power of 5 is meeting your goals, awesome. If it's not, do the power of 10, whatever. So you guys just up your actions if you're not meeting your goals. But don't just up your actions as in going through the motions. All right. You guys, I had a coach call me and she's like, Lacey, I'm pissed off. You guys say, be here in a year and do the vitals every single day and you'll be successful. She goes, I've been here for 2 years and I do the vitals every single day and I'm not successful. And I say, okay, hold on. I say, anyone can do the vital behaviors as a checklist. Like PD, check, invite, check. Anyone can go through the motions. But you guys, it's when you put your whole heart and soul to it. And like think of how you felt in the very beginning when you had your transformation and you wanted to shout from the rooftops for everyone to hear how Beachbody changed your life. Like think of how you felt back then. You guys, you got to get that fire back. You got to get that fire back. And whether it's picking a program, like seriously pick a program, do it start to finish, go on your journey and share. That's what you did in the very beginning. Because you guys, you can lose your fire in this. You can lose your fire and just be like, oh my gosh, another day of like invites and PD. And like, I just listened to this book. I read this book. Like but I don't remember one thing that I read from it. Like you guys do it like with your whole heart and soul. Don't just be the checklist person. All right. Because you can totally fall into that. Super easy. Okay, guys, this last thing, I always say, yes, what we're doing is like we're recruiting people in. Like we're bringing people in, which the word for that is called recruiting. But I hate that word. It puts the uckiest taste in your mouth ever. So I always say cross it out with a big, huge X and write build relationships of trust. That is what you're doing. You guys, I can't tell you how many times I was approached by network marketing people. I taught at both colleges at 6 different gyms. I was in front of seriously like 400 or 500 people per week. I was in front of them. People would see me and they're like, oh my gosh, she's got a loud mouth. Like she talks to everybody. Like she is going to be our money maker. Guys, people approach me right and left and right and left again. Especially because I was a lot of people from my classes. I would never even listen. Who knows if I pass up on a lot of amazing opportunities? Who knows? But I wouldn't even listen. But you guys, there was a person who 3 years ago, she approached me about this idea, about this fitness company that she thought that I would love. And you guys, I didn't even know what it was about. I had no idea what she was like. I had no idea what it was even about, but because she had built a relationship with me before, I listened, you guys. I listened. And holy smokes, I caught the vision. I fell in love with the products, with the programs, with everything about it. And you guys, I was actually like what you guys are. I was a coach for this fitness company. And it's so crazy. It was the third job that I took on when I was married. And you guys, so it was my third job. So I was still an accountant for this company. I was their accountant, and then I was a personal trainer on the side. And then this network marketing company, it was called Mint, M-Y-N-T, and this was for My Nutrition. And it was my third job. I took it on. And my ex-husband saw how much money I was making, because you guys, I was making a lot of money. I had to sell $1,400 packages. And it was before the company had even launched. So I was pretty much selling air to people, because like it hadn't launched yet. And like the package was just like, holy smokes, it was like $1,300 or $1,400 depending on what you did. The smallest one was like $900. And you guys, it's so funny. Like I was in this, and I actually made a bunch of money, and my ex just didn't work because he saw how much money I was making. And then we started going through like really, really super, super, super hard times. And then they went through the divorce, and instead of running to coaching, I ran away from it, because I no longer wanted to share like the struggle that I was going through. And I started binge eating again, all that kind of stuff. Guys, it's so crazy. Stephanie Chico said, you guys, we all go through hard times. We all go through trials. Like people go through divorces. They go through job losses. They go through their husband's having an affair. They go through the loss of a child or a husband or a loved one. Like someone has a horrible illness. She says, run to coaching. Run to coaching and share. Share, because there's someone out there who's dealing with the same thing that you are. I went to a conference, you guys, it was a women's conference, and these ladies, they got up. The one spoke about how her husband had an affair and how she had gotten through it. The one spoke about how she had lost a child to a horrible, horrible illness and how she got through it. The other one stood and told about how she had been sexually abused by her father and how she had gotten through it. The gentleman who got to close the conference, he said, you guys, we all have stories. We all have stories, and they need to be shared. He said, how is the woman who is here today that's sitting in the back row, who just found out her husband had an affair, how is she going to get through it if the woman in the front row doesn't stand up and tell how she did it? How is a woman in the back row sitting here today who just lost a child, or whose child is suffering from a horrible illness where she knows she's going to lose him? How is she going to get through it if the woman in the front row doesn't stand up and tell how she got through it? You guys, I'll never forget his talk, because it's so true. You guys, don't hide. You're going to go through, and that's me too. I'm like, I know I'm going to go through trials and hardships for the rest of my life, because that's just life. That's totally just life. Because other people are going through the same exact things. And by you sharing your story, you're giving them hope. You guys gave me hope. You gave me love for the challenge groups. We have the most amazing products. We have the most amazing programs. But we have the accountability and the support and the love that comes from you guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see you all. Guys, we do. We have the accountability, support, and love that comes from you guys in your challenge groups. So you guys keep sharing your story. Like, oh my heavens, you guys are amazing. Like, if you know me, you know about Beachbody. And everyone reaches out to me still, because I've trained all over, you guys. I've trained different states, like all over the place. And people say, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, Lacey, I need to get back on track. And I say, look online for a Beachbody coach. I'm like, follow a bunch of them, see who you mesh well with. I'm like, get on Shakeology because it's liquid gold. Get involved in their programs. Get a program. I say, and join their challenge group. And like, that's what I tell them all to do now, because you guys change people from the inside out. You guys changed me, the fitness girl who everyone looked up to in fitness, who was a nutritionist, a dietitian, like was a personal trainer, like you name it, I've done it for the last 17 years. I needed to change this. And that's what Beachbody does. They change people from the inside out. So guys, we have 2 minutes. Any questions, any comments, like what can I do better? Help me out, you guys, because I'm giving this presentation to the rest of my groups. I know I need to slow down. I just get so excited, and I need to for sure wear black because I'm passion sweating. I'm totally passion sweating. Because you guys, I just love what you have done. Like, you gave me my life back. You've given yourself your life back. And you guys, and you're sharing. Like, anyone who I helped lose weight in the past, they'd be like, Lacey, how can I ever repay you? I'm like, keep yourself like you are and share. I've had so many of my clients in the past that are actually personal trainers now because they like saw how they changed their life, and it's helped them be held accountable to them. And I'm just like, you guys, like, if you know me, you know about Beachbody. You totally do. And it's awesome. You guys are doing a good thing. And you're going to have so many naysayers. You guys, on my personal Facebook and Instagram page, whenever I post, like, it's just so funny. Whenever I talk about Beachbody or like network marketing companies, like, you guys, on different posts, like with me and my boyfriend or me and my niece and nephews or me or whatever, I get like 200-300 likes, comments like galore, anything to do about like network marketing. It's like, yes. And so you guys, I feel your pain, but it's all those naysayers that, you know what, it's not if they're going to come, it's when. Just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. You guys, you're amazing. Love and adore you. You're doing a great thing. Thank you, Tubbs, for being on. I just love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You guys, hang in there because you're going to have highs and lows. That's how it always is. And I see now, like, when I was in that, you guys, and the thing too is, I tell this to everyone, because I still have so many friends who are involved in network marketing, and they keep trying to get me to come. And I'm like, I work for Beachbody. And I'm like, you know what? I work for corporate. So I'm behind closed doors when I hear all the decisions that they're making. I'm behind closed doors with Carl and Jeff and Michael. You guys, they are who they are.